I hear somebody's phone ringing. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas to the Kid Gravity Beyond live chat and the comments section. This is Santa Claus, the black version. Kid Gravity wrote me a letter earlier this year and asked me he don't want no presents. He wants me to do an intro to this wake up call. Now, Santa Claus knows everything that goes on in the world, but I am not sure what a wake up call is. Oh, he left the definition on the back. I didn't even see this. It says a wake up call is when a person, for us black, decides to play with white supremacy and comes to find out they were not playing with them and they end up turning on them. I'm guessing this is someone that is popular. Well, he asked me to, again, introduce this wake-up call. So he said, first, make sure you share, like, and subscribe. That's right, share, like, and subscribe, because he's not like other YouTubers. He's different. So he said to go to something called Real Time and to introduce the latest wake-up call that you might have missed. His words, not mine. Oh, I'm supposed to say, now real time. All right, family. We're here in real time. And yes, here is the person that I said got their wake-up call. Now, I know y'all saw the thumbnail and you were like, who the hell could he be talking about? Well, here you are. Kaia Willis. Now, I talked about Kaia Willis a couple of months ago, and I'll put the commentary up in the right-hand corner so you can take a look at that. But yeah, Israel Hamas. This situation has exposed people, a lot of people, whether you're pro-Israel or anti-Israel or pro-Hamas, anti-Hamas or pro-Palestine, anti-Palestine, doesn't matter. A lot of people on this planet have chosen a side, and they have been inundated with constant barrage of comments from the other side, which is fine. That's perfect discourse for social media. Here's the problem. One, if you're not educated on something, it's best you stay out of it. But before we go to number one, I guess I'll just call this reason zero. If you're a black person, again, this has nothing to do with you. So you commenting on something like this doesn't always bode well. And Kaia Willis found out the hard way that, one, you're a young 24-year-old, not saying you're not supposed to be vastly versed in what's going on with Israel and Palestine, but at least have some cursory knowledge of what's going on and understand that you are not exactly a voice of authority on something. And make it worse, you're not a voice of authority on a subject, but you're playing like you are because you have a think tank behind you, which we're going to show you later. So she wrote, now this is where I first started seeing the BS. She wrote this last Friday. South African apartheid, the government segregated and oppressed its citizens. Israel apartheid. Now she put this in quotations. People who don't live in Israel don't want to live in Israel, and elected governments that hate Israel are not treated like Israeli citizens. One of those things is not like the other. 105,000 views in a week. Okay. We go down. People came in and had thoughts. None of them agreed with her. Except this woman here. But we see she got ratioed. But okay. Colonizers. Here we go. And he keeps going and going. So we figured that was just one post, right? No, she kept going, family. She kept going. Now, I don't know if this is the same comment. This was another comment. I thought it was going to be the same comment. She wrote, yes, everyone who is against Israel is wrong. Yes, Amnesty International is wrong. Yes, the UN is wrong. Morality isn't determined by any organization or by a popularity contest. It is determined by facts which the anti-Israel crowd are choosing to ignore. She got way more engagement on this one. Now, let's go back to this. Now, Amnesty International and the UN have been on record saying that they want a ceasefire. The UN voted for this. Again, they voted for this. If you remember the vote or you don't know, the UN voted on a resolution to call for a ceasefire. 3 countries said no. We know who those 3 countries are. US and the UK were 2 of them. I believe the other one was Israel. So the rest of the world wants a ceasefire on this, but the US, the UK, and Israel said no. Interesting. And we go in here. White guy, a former UN weapons inspector, called her dumb. What she wrote, called it dumb. Empty platitudes. Ignore the images of deceased Palestinian children. Ooh. Saying how Israel, US, and UK are wrong. And it goes on. She did not get any support on this tweet. They're accusing her of being paid by Israel to say this. Maybe OSI, but you know. She wrote more. Same tweet on the same day. Israel, which protects its citizens' rights and wants to live peacefully next to its neighbors, has the right to exist. Hamas, which oppresses its citizens and attacks its neighbors, does not. If that bothers you, reevaluate your morals. Not as much engagement on this one. But she got ratioed. Look at this. They're going in. People are giving her history lessons and calling it engagement bait. They are killing this lady. And I'm going to show you later in a little while. This is another example of white supremacy not only taking both sides of the argument, but hanging out their tools to be broken. I said this with Rob Smith. We're going to say this with Kaia Willis now. Kaia Willis. Another one 4 hours ago. I'm recording this on Friday, the 22nd. There cannot be a 2-state solution until Gaza and West Bank choose peace and coexist with Israel. As long as they continue to choose violence and destruction, they cannot be allowed to exist as autonomous states. She wrote this. They are killing this lady. They are killing this lady. Family, I've studied these tweets. I would have to say less than 2% of all the comments actually said she was correct. Not even, family, it's so bad even the pro-Israel people aren't even coming to this post to back her up. Except this one. And that one I showed you was less than 2%. Part of the less than 2%. This is... She wrote this an hour later. Someone wrote, my problem with pro-Palestinians on Twitter is not that they support Palestine, is that they make ish up. She said the only way someone could support Palestine in this conflict is by making ish up. All of us who are in touch with reality and morality support Israel.
Who is we? Who is we?
Exactly what Surf said. Who is we? Who is we? I went in her comment thread. I said, girl, I'm imploring you, stay away from this. As a black woman, this is not your fight. Hit him with the Uncle Phil one time. We. Who's we? Are you serious? Look at this. They're calling her a 4th grader. They are killing this lady. But remember when I said that she's another tool that's meant to be broken? Tabernacle. We're on OSI's webpage, the Objective Standard Institute. Now, I talked about this briefly when I did my, I guess you could call it a roast, but deep dive into Kaia Willis and what she's about. She's a fellow here. So it says Kaia Willis is a fellow at Objective Standard Institute focusing on cultural trends and their causes and consequences. She's 24 years old and you think she has a pulse on cultural trends and their causes and consequences. I think y'all need to go back and look at the live stream I did. You tell me if she is really focused on cultural trends and their causes and consequences. It can accurately show us and articulate for us how she sees it and how it's the correct vision. Because we saw her sit down with Larry Sharpe and he was basically feeding her the answers. A graduate of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Kaia worked as a data analyst before transitioning to philosophy. Her hobbies include hiking, playing with her boxer Apollo, and writing for her Substack. You can find her advocating reason, individualism, and liberty on Twitter and TikTok. Well, she's advocating for Israel right now, and it ain't looking too well. Well, she's advocating for Israel right now, and it's not looking too well. By the way, remember what I also said? They take both sides of the argument and they break their tools. I want you to look at something now. This is their team. Sarah and Craig Biddle, they are the founders. Right? Got Dylan. I ain't never seen a chick with a male name of Xavier. But okay. John Hersey. And we keep going down. There go Kaia. And guest instructors. Only blackface in the bunch. Noticeably, I don't see OSI say we stand with Kaia on what she's saying. Right? But then I looked this up and I saw this. Tabernacle. Ownership of errors. Apologies when warranted. When we err or err, we acknowledge it openly when appropriate, learn from it, and do our best to avoid making the same mistake in the future. If our error causes someone else trouble, we apologize and, if warranted, make amends. This keeps the air clear, fosters trust, and accelerates personal and professional growth. Maybe they just mean in the house. When you go outside, that's your problem. Why are y'all not out here defending your fellow? Kaia Willis, this is what we call a wake-up call. Oh, yes, madam. This is a wake-up call. You keep putting out this pro-Israel stuff and barely anybody's coming to defend you, like I said before. And it's I'll give you credit for this. You at least kept your comment section open, because usually when y'all say stuff like this and you get ratioed to hell, you cut the comments off. At least you were brave enough to leave the comments open. You're probably getting a nice check for this month for this engagement. But yeah, you're a black woman and you're talking about Israel. You're not even Jewish. You should be saying, listen, this is an unfortunate situation. And hell, if you want to say both sides are wrong, go do that and ride out. There's plenty of other things to talk about. It's funny. Nobody, do you understand, family? I need y'all to understand this before I get up out of here. Nobody's really talking about this Israel-Hamas thing. And you know when they really stop talking about it? When they published that story that Biden and Netanyahu and their people on both sides were yelling at each other about what was going to happen to Gaza after this conflict was over. A lot of people woke up after that. Because remember, when this thing first popped off, I mean, the timeline was flooded, except the on codes. People were talking about it. But now, ever since that report came out, nobody cares about this anymore. Same thing with Ukraine. Once they started seeing that black folks weren't interested in what they were going on, all we were focused on was reparation, anti-hate legislation, and making sure that the whole system crumbles, nobody talked about that war anymore. They don't even, they try to keep it in the news cycle by saying that, oh, Zelensky keeps asking for more money. He's asking for $100 billion here. He's asking for $3 billion here. He met with Biden and he's upset that they're trying to focus on both wars and he should get the bulk of the money. And we still don't care. It doesn't even trend anymore. I'm sure they're both taking each other out and it's not even trending. They don't even care. Y'all see my trending list. Kyrie Irving is trending. This is not your fight, man. I need you to stay away from this. They're going to run you off of social media. You're going to say something within the next few days that is going to make you shut off your comment thread. But, you know, they never learn. But there you go, family. We got ourselves another one who's getting a wake-up call. November 5th, 2024 can't come fast enough. But every time there's a wake-up call, boom, boom. It gets a little bit closer and a little bit better. The air feels a little bit cleaner. Because we're running all these wannabes off the block. But anyway, I'm going to get up out of here, family. Take care and happy holidays.
Ho, ho, ho. I'm back. Santa Claus is back. Kid Gravity's been good this year. Maybe I'll give him a little present. Put his wife's name on it. But anyway. I have to run. The reindeer are full of energy. The sleigh is full. And I have to make my rounds around this white supremacist world, giving out presents. So, oh, he wanted me to do the outro. I think that's what he called it. Yes. So he says, happy holidays. He loves all of you who have been riding with him for the entire year. Be on the lookout for new content in January 2024. And hopefully you have a safe and productive holiday season. He says he's going to get out of here. Oh, I'm supposed to say that. I am going to get out of here. You already know what to do. Share, like, and subscribe. That's right. Share, like, and subscribe because I'm not like other YouTubers. I'm different. Well, I'm not a YouTuber, but I think that's what he meant. Take care. Stay safe. Happy holidays. And he's out. And Santa Claus is out. I am coming, Blitzen. You be quiet.